Hello, people of YouTube. This is Gray's Guitars. I am Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. We're trying something a little different with the camera angle today. It's going to involve me holding it for 10 minutes in a straight position. So we'll see how long I can deal with this before I want to put the camera down. Cort just bought Digitech. So let's take a look here. I may or may not put some images up on the screen, but I'm going to go ahead and read off an article here. So Cort purchases Digitech and DoD with plans to invest in new features and products. Neither Digitech nor the South Korean guitar manufacturer has commented on the purchase acquisition. This was April 23rd. Cort has confirmed its acquisition of Digitech along with its intellectual property and assets. June Park, president of Digitech, said in a statement to Guitar.com, since 1973, Digitech and DoD guitar effect pedals have been iconic in the guitar industry, and we have deeply admired them for their heritage and legacy to the Digitech brand. We look forward to continuing the manufacturing and selling of these iconic products as well as investing in new features and products. Digitech and DoD have found a new owner in Cort, the South Korean manufacturer of electric and acoustic basses and ukuleles. The acquisition follows news from earlier this year that Harman dropped Digitech from its list of brands. Privacy policy section of the website now describes the brand as a division of Digitech Corporation, while also listing it as its address as the Digitech headquarters in Ganisko, probably butchering that word, district of Seo, South Korea. At this present time, no announcement from either Digitech nor Digitech has been made, but the supposed acquisition, however, that hasn't stopped guitarists online from sharing their thoughts and matters most seem to be in favor of the alleged. Cort likely wouldn't buy the brand unless they intended to do something with it, wrote one user. I imagine we'll see the continued production, steady selling classics, but also a good possibility of new guitar development. Only thing I'm worried about is that Cort only bought the name and none of the designs. One user said, worst case scenario, we just get a bunch of generic pedals under the Digitech brand if this is legit. Another said it might be a long shot, but if they could somehow get some of the old R&D guys back, that would be pretty amazing. Many of Digitech's and DoD's greatest innovations from the Whammy 5 and the Riochet to the Rubberneck, Analog Delay, and Carcos Fuzz happened when Tom Cram led production development. Cram, who is now working full-time at Spiral Electric FX, took to Facebook and said that he hasn't been in the loop with Digitech latest developments. I'm getting a lot of DMs with questions about Digitech. I don't know what's going on. I haven't spoken to anyone since 2018. However, I will say to those predicting you got out to them, you need to push those rosy thoughts right out of your heads. And that's pretty much the entire article there. So, I believe it was Ryan Bruce, I think he goes by Fluff on YouTube, did a video not that long ago about this. So he was like, hey, someone's buying Digitech. Digitech hasn't had products, listed for a long time. I believe he speculated, and a couple other guitar YouTubers speculated that Digitech was going out of business, because it had been roughly a month or so at this point in time with nothing really being listed. I don't have any Digitech products at this point in time. Nothing against them, just haven't really bought any of them. Looked into their product line to see if any of their products actually interest me. I've used a few of them before. I believe I used a Whammy 5 once or twice. Some multi-effects pedal that was perfectly fine that a buddy of mine had. But no, they are not going out of business is the general gist of it, and in fact they got bought out by Cort. So what a lot of these subsidiaries do, or wholesalers you could say, is they manufacture for other companies. I believe Cort, to my knowledge, I think they're still making the PRS SEs. They're making some Ibanez guitars as well, along with other brands. It's one of the major factories in South Korea, to my knowledge, so they work with a lot of current brands. Now, they do have their own line. I believe it is called Parkwood Guitars, but they sell them obviously at a significant discount because it's not what that you would consider quote-unquote a name brand. You know, it's not your PRS, your Ibanez, your Gibson, your Fender, things along those lines, household names, if you will. It's kind of that, you find it for $50 at a garage sale, you think it's going to be junk, but the build quality is actually really good and it plays a lot better than you initially thought it was going to. And you're like, yeah, I spent that $50 fairly well. So it's mostly going to be something along those lines where they are going to continue to manufacture all of their products. They want the name because everybody really knows who Digitech is at this point in time. So it'll definitely be good to acquire them. Now, as opposed to the one user saying, oh, they haven't really bought in any of the designs, the patents, or anything along those lines, we don't know the full details of this yet. So it is a possibility that they are giving all of their rights to all of these different pedals to the Cort brand. If that is the case, I would assume that they're just going to continue manufacturing wherever Cort manufactures products, or Digitech rather, and just continue that pedal line. But now they're going to get the money in their pocket, and there might be like an additional sticker on there or something along those lines that says like Digitech under Cort, or approved by the Cort brand or inspected by Cort, or something along those lines, where they'll probably just put their logo on it along with the Digitech logo as well. So nothing really major, nothing too crazy. They've been around forever. It's going to be a little while before you see the products at the shelves again. Everybody was freaking out. I don't recommend buying one right now. You should probably wait. Just hold off because, ever since the YouTubers started mentioning this happening, that Digitech was possibly going out of business, everybody went flocking. The prices of these things are going through the roof right now, and they're like 5 to 10 times as much as what you would have paid like probably 2 to 3 weeks ago before anyone even mentioned it. So if you really need one, check out your local Craigslist, check out your local Facebook Marketplace. See if anybody in your local area is just trying to get rid of one because they don't use it anymore. If you really need to have it. Collector's standpoint, now I can see that there is probably going to be a difference. They're going to be, depending on the quality that Cort brings to the market, after the fact, because you may have something similar where people always complain about PVs after they switched production to China, especially with the 6505s. And then you have the block letter 5150s. It's going to be along those lines. It's like, oh, PV in the USA versus PV China. The USA ones are always going to catch a premium just for the fact that they got built in the USA. And it's probably going to be the same thing with Digitech, depending on the quality. If the manufacturers are all saying the same, no, there's not going to be a difference. If it changes, or they do something else, or they just make some sort of generic, kind of Behringer style clones across the board, then yes, those pedals are definitely going to significantly go up in value because you are no longer going to be able to purchase them, which, as I said, I don't see that being the case. So right now, hold off on the Digitech pedals. We're going to get some more in the future. We just got to wait for the news. If you really need it, local Craigslist, local Facebook Marketplace. My name is Steve Gray. This is Gray's Guitars. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.